We're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct, but not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s, the mid-20s.
Yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady
And Levi.
and Brady too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed.
That was the one thing.
Which makes it a rap.
Yes, all raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes, 2 West.
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right, we don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now, and in the future we will be the moths.
The
Because moths are the
disgusting
most-
gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're
Yeah.
like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Whoa! Sketchy hat, man.
And see our channel.
Well done, Sketchy hat man. Well done.
Are you guys offline? Uh-oh.
No.
Ask him if he is.
Are you? Sketchy, did you post on Discord?
Yeah.
I really hope Sketchy saw that, otherwise it was for naught.
Took a lot of abdominal strength.
So, hey Jay, what's up?
Hey, whoa, Jay the Whiz Kid, Sketchy. Hey.
Wait, the ACT came back?
The test came back.
What test are we talking about?
Jay the Whiz Kid.
Oh, the math test.
You did so well that you get to drop out?
That's pretty good. Is it like placing out of a final, but you get to place out of the rest of the school year?
Just from one math test?
Are you being hyperbolic? No.
Hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic.
Yes.
I got a 56. Oh boy.
It happens.
Was it out of 56? I already was out of 56. What was it on again? Do you remember, Brady?
No. Do you?
No. Do you?
I would probably have got a 10 if it wasn't for your guys' help. Oh, that's good.
Well, good.
We're glad that we can help. What was it on again? We forget. It was Algebra and Review, but this year I was taking an advanced alg class. Oh. Yeah, I remember he pulled up some problems for you to like help him with like fraction stuff.
No, you don't.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
Hey y'all, just stumbled upon your channel. I need some SAT, ACT practice to be honest, so I'll probably check y'all out tomorrow since I have a calculus test to study for at the moment. Mish 11, we would love to help you out with SAT, ACT practice. And if you ever need help with calculus, also, you can DM us for that. It could also be PM, private message, or DM, direct message.
It would be DP for direct private.
Direct private.
Yes. But I have a quiz tomorrow on the most fun part of algebra. What is the most fun related rate? Wait, Sketchy Hat Man.
Sketchman, we love your subscriptions and your prescriptions, of which we know all of them. Wow, a lot of kids here. Okay.
Wait, you got to your SAT score goal? You're done? Awesome. Unless you're doing more.
Ah, Mr. Sketchy Hat Man. Related rates. Oh, I love those. Wait, calculus. Jay the Whiz Kid. Sketchman. On the most fun part of algebra.
Mish, are you? Yeah, definitely come back tomorrow if that's what you want to do. Yeah, we can't do calculus stuff streaming because it's not on the SAT or ACT.
But we can tutor it privately.
Oh,
when I say privately, I mean extremely privately.
Okay.
Yep.
Have we any questions, my lord?
Hey, he's applying to Stanford. We went to Stanford, but I think Stanford is in the UK.
That's Stanford with an M.
No, Stanford's in Connecticut. Stanford is in the UK.
No, it's not. Isn't the UK in Connecticut? Well, I can't go
To Stanford?
because I can't spell. Yeah, that's true. If you apply to the wrong school spelling, then you probably... I did that with Penn and Penn State. I thought I was going. I thought I was going to. No, I went on a visit. I drove
To what ended up being Penn
4
State?
hours to Penn State, and I was like, I'm in the wrong place.
Did you tour the place anyway?
Yeah, I checked it out.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Johnny Hopkins is coming to my school's college fair. I hear he's fair. Also good news. It wasn't my best. Thank you. I think I'm good at the moment. Just need a review before the test. Yes. What does that even mean? Because I can't spell.
So much stuff going on. Okay, I'm gonna go to Reddit, but you
smorgasbord.
keep them busy.
All right. I have
them
emails
busy.
from Samford, and I was like, ooh, Stanford, but then looked closer. So I'm going to the undergrad admissions and bribing them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? They've never heard of bribing before, so I think if you explain the idea to them, they'll be really excited about it, which is fun. So wait, it is Stanford in Connecticut? So Stanford is not a place anywhere that I've heard of. There's Stamford, Connecticut, and then there's Stanford in California. But then I guess there's also Samford. Writing my college app based on bribing SAT Proctor. They're going to love that. Yeah, and then lying about what sport you play and sending in pictures of you on a boat saying that you row when in fact you do not row.
Row your boat.
I gotta say, something that keeps me fresh and perky for these streams is sparkling ice. Now with
They definitely can't read that, which is fine.
0 sugar, which honestly is really surprising that it's this good with no sugar. Like there's no calories.
Oh, do you know what they put in it?
What?
Tight Bond Original Wood Glue.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they put in it.
Photoshopping going to Africa, helping net privilege. Just write a very generic essay about going to Africa. Or maybe you can be meta about it and like talk about how you would like to write an essay about going to Africa and helping net privilege. But you didn't go to Africa and do that, so like you're like, this is what I would write about. I would talk about how I was stationed here and I helped out this community with this and this, but I didn't actually do that. The end of every paragraph is, but I didn't actually do that. Talking about your life. Oh, we're back. We're back online. Did we just freeze for a second and are we back now? Tell us what the deal is. We're scared. I hurt my back the other day because I'm an old fart. Old fart in my pants. Old fart in my pants today. Math, English. Nerdish is now live. Great. Sweet, sweet education. I think we're back up again. I hope we're back up again. The stream is going pretty well. We got a lot of people talking. We got Jay, we got Sketchy Hat, we got just Jay. Oh, we got Mishmish, but Mishmish is doing calculus now. Are we back up and running? Pre-Calc Honors is about to be easy next year. Oh, really? Psych. Oh. Hey, remember, we help with that stuff. If you're willing to, sweeten the deal a little bit. If you know what I mean. Jay the Whiz Kid, psych is P-S-Y-C-H. as in psychology or psyche, the mind, soul, from Greek.
God, dude, that's how people spell it now.
Or Latin, I don't know. No, right there. There you go. Psych. That's good. Thank you, Mish Mish. Now get back to your calculus review, you big clown. Sorry, Jay the Whiz Kid. We love you. We just want to prepare you for the world.
We love you deeply.
And immensely. And eternally and unconditionally. So.
Unless you mess up.
And then, bam. No more love.
You are out. So, Jay, what do you want to talk about? What were some of the algebra concepts that you missed on the test, you know for sure, weren't good? And because we can go over them right now, since we have no other questions.
That's funny. Thanks, Mish Mish. Yeah, that's kind of the big central tenet of psychology is the way that it's spelled.
Yeah. Not to be confused with psychology, which is the study of spelling things wrong. Oh, your teacher reviewed it with you. Okay, so do you have any other questions? Or are you a happy Jay?
He just wanted to go over stuff for his quiz tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cool. Let's do that then.
Absolute value equations. We can talk about those.
Absolute value equations, my lord.
I'm going to go get my chicken. And by that, I mean my actual dinner.
That sandwich I got is so good.
Really?
Yeah, try a bite.
Okay.
Okay, one example. Yes, I'm going to do one example. My worry about doing one example, Jay, is that I'm not sure where your level is, and I can do, basically a very, very hard example, and then it might be too complicated. So I'm going to start with something simple and see how quick you are there. Have you had to deal with any of this stuff, like inequalities with absolute values, or is it just absolute value equations?
That's very
I don't know what the yep is for because I ask multiple questions and then I always forget what they are in the first place. So if I ever ask a yes or no question, don't answer me with yes or no because I won't remember. Okay, so you do need to know that. Let's do...
$17, my lord.
17?
Mm-hmm.
Was that just made up or you figured out a nice thing? Okay, cool. I'm up to compound and absolute inequalities. Nerdish is now live again. Are you serious? Gosh, darn it. Okay. Hey, Jay, it seems like we're losing connection and then getting it back. Oh, it's been live. Okay, so have you lost connection with us at all or no? Has any point in the stream cut out for you? No. Okay, great. So I don't know what our computer's saying. What the heck is going on? Okay, this is where we're starting. You don't get to... So eventually you want to get rid of your absolute value stuff. But you have to do things first. What do you have to do first here? What is our first step or first couple of steps? Isolate the absolute value. Perfect. Thank you for the follow, MigMax. We don't know why you're here, so why don't you tell us? If you have any questions specifically, ask us. You can ask in the chat. You can ask in the Discord. You can add us on or mention us on Reddit or the general SAT ACT Discords. What's going on? Just say stuff. Or don't. Either way, that's fine. But ask us questions because then we can help you. Yes, so get rid of the other stuff. We have to isolate the absolute value. So we're going to add 3, and then we're going to divide by 4. So we'll get, and then I'll just write divide by 4. That's so stupid. I'm sorry I wrote it that way. Whatever. Let's just do it in different steps. X minus 2 is less than 20. Then we divide by 5. Oh, thank you, Mishmish. Hi, MigMax. You have similar names. I'm sure you're from similar places. So now we have x minus 2 is less than or equal to 5. Right? From here, what is the next step, Jay? Or anybody else, for that matter. MigMax, ask questions or say hello or whatever. My teacher taught me less than. Less than. Interesting. I've never heard that. That's interesting. Less than. It's kind of hard to hear. Doesn't really matter. Like for graphing. I don't know what you mean by that necessarily. What do you mean by graphing this? Don't know what you mean. Okay, anyway, we're going to split this. Now that the absolute value... Oh, sure. Yeah, show me, send a pic of the finished problem. That's cool. Now that we just have the absolute value isolated, now we break it up. X minus 2, x minus 2. It's going to be less than or equal to 5. Cool. Sounds good. You don't need it, but good luck on your test tomorrow, and then we'll see you. X minus 2 is less than or equal to 5, and then we have x minus 2. We flip the sign and flip the 5. So we get is greater than or equal to negative 5. Then we just isolate x, so we have x is less than 3, and we have x is greater than or equal to, sorry, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, add 2 to negative 5, we get negative 3, which graphically, we have a negative 3 here, we have a 3 here. They're both going to be filled in circles because we have the equals to stuff. And then it's going to be less than 3, greater than negative 3, so it's going to be everything in here. Please let me know if you have any questions. My chat just refreshed, so if you said anything to answer me, then I may have missed it. So I don't see anything in the Discord of your answer choices, Jay. I understand. Great. Okay. Are you doing absolute value stuff in 2 variables to graph an absolute value thing and maybe shade in if it's absolute value and inequalities? Is it that, or is it only is it 1 variable absolute value, or is it 2 variable absolute value? Nope, just a line. Great. Done. Is that the only question? We can do more stuff. Happy to do more stuff. When the and or is important. Ah, shoot. Okay. So, choosing between and or. We really actually don't need any of the stuff I just erased. We really just need this. Do we want and or in this situation? For this particular thing, we have and, because we can be both. We're basically asking ourselves, okay, x is less than 3, less than or equal to 3. X is also greater than or equal to negative 3. Can we have an x that satisfies both of them? If we can satisfy both, it would be and. Okay? If we can satisfy both. Like the number 2 satisfies both of these. So 2 is less than or equal to 3 and greater than or equal to negative 3. But let's say we have a situation where we have x is greater than 4, and then we also have x is less than negative 2. Okay? If that is the situation, we can't have a value of x that satisfies both of these inequalities, so we say or. So that's or, that's and. If we're graphing this, probably know this, we have a negative 2 here, we have a 4 here. These are open circles because there's no equal signs. This, it's less than negative 2, and it's greater than positive 4. Does that clear that up for you, Jay? Bum. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Sort of still confused. Okay, let's do an example in this realm of things. So let's, let me see if I can get this right. If we say x plus 8 is less than, let's say is greater than 3, okay? X plus 8 is greater than 3. That means we'll break it up. We get x plus 8 is greater than 3. X plus 8 is less than negative 3, right? Flip the sign and make it negative. That's how we break down the absolute value. If there's just an equal sign, then it's an equal sign both here and here, but you make this a negative 3. Then we just solve or isolate, so we have x
is greater than, subtract 8, we get negative 5. Oh, wait, did I mess this up again? No, okay. And then x, subtract 8 from both, we get less than negative 11. So when we're graphing that, so you can't have a value that satisfies both of these, right? A number that's greater than negative 5, let's say 10. 10 is greater than negative 5, but 10 is not less than negative 11. So this has to be or. Basically, graphically, if you only have one section, then you can say and, right? Because this value here that we're choosing is greater than negative 3, it's less than 3. Here, there's no value that they both satisfy. So this guy can't also satisfy this guy. So if you are graphing it on the number line and it's two different pieces, it'll be or, because you can't be both at the same time. If you only have one spot, you're satisfying both inequalities simultaneously, so you can be and. Here we have to be or, because we can't be greater than negative 5, less than negative 11. I've said this many times now, so please let me know if it's not making sense, because that means, oh, I did this wrong. Because that means I'm explaining it poorly. Not that you don't understand things, it's just that I'm a bad teacher. So here, x is greater than negative 5, open circle, that way. X is less than negative 11, open circle, that way. We can't be both of them at the same time. Being over here, you can't also be over here. So, or, and. The funny one is here. That's right, Bird.
What, am I funny? Funny looking?
Okay. That's what my teacher said.
Yeah.
What if you just looked at...
Great or, that's right. Great or is this way, less than is that way.
Yes.
I had a teacher that did great or as well. That's right, Jay the Whiz Kid. Quite the whiz kid over there. Hey, Robe Expert. What if I called you the
expert one?
The expert one is here. Would you like that?
Why does this one never quite work?
You gotta really encourage it.
You're incorrigible.
You're very encourageable. Hey, Levi, keep it up, huh?
Thanks, Bird.
See, you see how encourageable you are?
I feel very encouraged.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Tell if it's or and. Yes, you can. Yeah. I need my markers.
No, Bird. Oh, it's very pink now.
I mean, that's the trick to remembering it.
It's a trick. It's very important to understand why that exists, though.
Okay, right. You don't understand the logic of it. Should I try some?
Application questions. Okay, yeah, give it a shot.
Okay.
Since I have failed.
No. Did you go over normal absolute value equations?
No.
Okay. So Jay the Whiz Kid,
But he was asking specific... Wait, like with equal signs?
yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Jay the Whiz Kid, x plus 7, absolute value of that is equal to 8. How do you solve it? Be nice if we could hear the sweet, sweet voices of the children. Make two equations. Right. One of them is with positive 8, one of them is with negative 8. The thing inside stays the same regardless. We still have x plus 7 in both cases. So 8 and then negative 8. Good. We solve them separately. Right. Okay. Good. Next thing. Negative 2x is greater than or equal to 16. I want you to isolate x here and let me know what you get. Let me know what you get. What would you do if you saw us at home? That sandwich is really good, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sauce.
It's the sauce. Great sauce. X is less than, underline,
Negative 8. So we divided by negative 2, which is a negative. So we flip the signs and we get x is less than or equal to negative 8, which is exactly what you said. Good.
that is correct. So, with absolute value inequalities, we have to keep in mind both of these things at the same time. Number one, there's the branching it into the two possibilities. And number two, if you divide by a negative number, then you switch the signs. So, x plus 8 is less than 16. We'll say that, okay? One of them is going to be the same as what it looks like just without the absolute value bars. So we have x plus 8 is less than 16. And then the other one, we're going to change the sign, but because we're changing the sign, we're also going to flip the inequality. So if x plus 8 is greater than negative 16.
Okay.
Now think about what we just discovered, is that this value we're trying to find, x plus 8, is going to be less than 16, but greater than negative 16. That means there's these two bounds on it. A lower bound, which is it's got to be greater than negative 16, and an upper bound, it has to be less than 16, which means it's going to be something where we're going between. We're going between two values. So when you isolate both of these, and we subtract 8 from both of them, x is less than 8, x is greater than negative 24. We have an upper bound, and we have a lower bound. So we have negative 24, we have 8, open circles, solutions between them.
The definition of absolute value is the distance away from 0. So when you first learn absolute value, you think if something is negative, just make it positive, which is right. If it is already positive, it just stays positive. Absolute value, the actual definition, is how far are we away from 0. Doesn't matter if you're negative distance away. The distance is still just 16 units. It doesn't matter which direction you're going. Okay. So what we're saying here is that absolute value basically means a distance.
The distance of x plus 8 away from 0 has to be less than 16.
So it's got to be within 16 units away from 0. Distance of 0 to a number line. Yeah, so like here's 0. You know, positive 16, that's a distance of 16. Negative 16, also a distance of 16. So that's what absolute value does, is it just gives you that distance away from 0. So what we're saying here is that the absolute value of x plus 8, the distance away from 0 of x plus 8 needs to be less than 16. So it's got to be, the furthest it could go is up to 16 or down to negative 16. But that's just the value x plus 8. Then we have to actually get x by itself, so that's where we have to subtract the 8.
So it's almost as if we started with here. I know how I'm going to make this. All right, so this is going to be 0. This is going to be 16, and this is going to be negative 16. So this is x plus 8 right here.
X plus 8 needs to be, and I didn't really have this proportionally drawn well.
Yeah, I should put this a little bit further down. Put that right here.
The value of x plus 8 needs to be within 16 units away from 0. So that means up to 16, down to negative 16. As long as we're between those two values, we're good. But then we have to solve this for x, which means we have to subtract 8. So it takes this little squiggly line and it shifts it 8 units back. So that x by itself has to be somewhere between negative 24 and 8. That's what the less than gives you. So whenever you do a less than, it'll always end up being the let's get close to 0 thing. Upper bound and lower bound somewhere in between. So we're greater than this and we're less than that. Less than. You have to obey both things at the same time. And then you get to great or. I'll erase this left side.
Hey, the Whisket, how are we doing so far?
Less than clashes. Less than clashes? Less than clashes. And the greater goes opposite ways. Ah, I really like that. Yes, these two clash. As armies clash by night, or something like that. There's some poem there. Yeah, exactly. So, and you know what? The easiest way is to forget the solving it for a sec. So, like, let me just give you an easy one.
absolute value of x is now going to be greater than or equal to 4. Okay? Which means that the distance that x is away from 0 needs to be at least 4, or it can be greater than that. So you can be at 4, or you can be greater than 4, but you can't be within 4 units of 0, which means you can go either direction. You can go 4 and above or negative 4 and below. Both of those directions give you numbers that have an absolute value of greater than 4. And if less than doesn't catch. Oh. Very good. Very good. Very good, Jay the Whiz Kid. You're growing. It took your father a while to understand this too, but once he got it, he got it. Like a Jedi or something. Yeah, hopefully. You're going to get a good score. Don't get down on yourself if you don't get 100. 100s are hard to get. These problems are really fun. They are really fun. I agree. We love these problems. We love these problems. Who else has questions? Levi, any things on Reddit or the SAT and ACT Discord we should do?
Yeah, baby. No, there's not, actually.
Nice. You want to do an endorsement of those chips?
We're not sponsored by Lay's. Wise. These aren't even Lay's. Wait, what?
They're Wise.
Are Lay's and Wise not the same time? I've always associated them.
Really?
Are they different chips?
If they were the same, wouldn't they call them the same thing?
I don't know. I thought like... Oh, it is. Oh, well. Really? I just always associated them.
Well, that's because one of them is kind of the off-brand version of the other. So there's an association. Wise is always in dollar stores. Well, we were just in a grocery store that has some cheap options. You know the dollar store itself is $1?
The whole store?
Yeah.
Right.
It's that easy. No one ever realizes.
I hate this.
Why?
I hate this.
What do you hate about it? Trader Joe's. TJ's. Trader J's. T. Joe's. Joe Trader. Is that where it's at currently? Like as we speak? Because if so, why are we not there? I know that it's been where it's at sometimes. I was there a couple times when it was where it's at.
Jay, do you have more questions?
It was really exciting. Why don't you give us an answer and we'll give you the question that gives us an answer? Word problems?
Yes.
We like word problems.
Let's do it.
Feed us word problems.
Mm-hmm.
Feed us them. Feed them us.
Feed them. Don't feed them to us.
No,
Don't
no.
feed them us.
Yes, feed them us. We want to be eaten by them.
That reminds me.
What?
That thing I can't tell you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's just between me and Jay, actually.
Yeah, I'd like that. You guys should have your own secrets.
Yeah.
2 tutors and 1 student reaping the benefits. Because no one else is asking questions. Because we don't do a good job of getting the word out so that other people watch us.
We don't know how to market this
We don't know how
particularly
to market.
effectively. It's okay. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. You're our favorite current student.
It's ideal for you.
This is what it's for, man. We want to get this in the hands of everyone.
I want to put it in your hands.
And free tutoring is something you absorb, definitely.
It's like the fish in that Bible parable when
Parabola.
when you give the fish to one person and then the fish is multiplied or something, or like they cut the fish up and it feeds a lot of people.
Yeah,
It's like that.
It's the miracle of the fishes and loaves. I'm not sure you had it exactly right, though.
I think I did, because then Jonah's like in the fish
Yeah.
right?
Well,
But then
and
he
he
also
meets-
eats it.
He meets Pinocchio's father inside the fish as well.
Mm,
And
right.
it's because of them that they're able to multiply the fish so much into the
Right.
point that it makes a mass that's big enough for
Picture of the
whale.
word problem. Yes. Have you ever petted Brady? It's like petting a person, but more bird-like.
Caw! 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 Caw!
Very exciting.
Yeah, we could just do that for the whole stream.
All stream
No
long.
prep, just petting bird, making him do bird noises today.
Ow!
You gotta watch out, dude.
I watched.
That thing came out of nowhere.
I watched. Ouch.
I need to reschedule a kid.
All right, we got just no questions.
Put on your
I guess the ACT just happened. The SAT is in 3 weeks. We kind of do have a downtime, lully period.
Wow. I just realized lullaby has the same root word as lull. You're lulling someone to sleep. Is lull short for lullaby, or was the word lull a word and then the lullaby? I'm gonna think the latter. All right, Jay.
Give us your worst. Give us your worst. Show us your worst. Show us your word problem. Brady, do you like deli meats?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like sausage?
Yeah.
Oh, you're downloading Discord because you went on a social media cleanse. Still ongoing. Cool. Interesting.
Tell him that he's still allowed to have green tea and lemon juice.
You're
during
still
the
allowed
social
to not listen to Brady ever. It feels so good. Awesome. Yeah. Now, this doesn't count, obviously. This is social and it's media, but it's also you're studying for the SAT, so that's fine. Feels so good. Yes, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't have Instagram. We now have a company Instagram and Twitch and Twitter and whatever else and Instagram. Did I say Instagram? We have all the social medias for this, which clearly doesn't work yet. Is it a myth where some tests on certain dates are harder than others?
It's not true.
It is sure that happens, but on a year-to-year basis, no. No tests are going to be identical.
Yeah, there's this idea that if you take it in the fall, you're up against seniors that are still taking it, so the curve is harder. They don't compare you to the kids that are currently taking it. Otherwise, yeah, you would not want to take it in the fall. So they should all be the same level of difficulty, and they statistically balance, or they weigh them according to their research with each question to standardize them across, all the other tests that have ever been given. So like a 34, if a kid can get a 34 on a test, that same kid should be able to get a 34 on another test if he doesn't do any, studying or prep or anything like that. So yeah, obviously you can't do anything perfectly, but like they're supposed to be the same level of difficulty, or at least scored to balance it out. Like if a test seems harder, there'll be a more forgiving curve that'll help you out.
Whatever Brady says is, if it isn't the truth before he says it, it becomes the truth after. You have a question, Lenify. Good. What's your question? We got somebody from YouTube. YouTube, yeah. Most people are on Twitch. I don't know if you have a Twitch, Lenify, but that's where most of the chat conversation is happening. Posted. Cool. Lenify, ask us your questions. Question.
You can make an imaginary one. Posted, you can make one. Okay, so. Oh, interval notation. Oh yeah, this is definitely review time for you, Jay. This stuff is very beginning of the year type stuff. Not saying it's easy, but it's like this is what half of my students that I'm teaching for math do at this point. Jay, since you've been here a while and you got a couple questions answered, I'm going to answer Lenify's. You don't see Lenify's question because you're not on YouTube, but I do, and I will write it down for you. So we have if C to D equals 7 to 3. And d to e, oh, we did one of these the other day. D to e, let's make this more of a d. D to e equals 3 to 10. What is the ratio of c to e?
Okay. This is actually already set up for us. So ratios aren't actually the number of things, but let's assign, a visualizable example for this. Let's say you have marbles. Okay, so you have a certain number of C marbles, 1, 2, whatever, and then you have a certain number of D marbles, and you have a certain number of E marbles, whatever it is. Okay, so the ratio is always going to be the same, right? If you have, let's say, if you have 14 C marbles, how many D marbles would you have? If you have 14 C, you would have to have 6 D, right? And you can maybe logic your way out or into that, because 14 is double of 7. So the number of actual D marbles you had would be 6, right? Because if you double this to get to 14, you double this to get to 6, right? The way to deal with this type of problem when you're going across ratios is to set this D equal to this D in these ratios, which has already been done. Because if we rewrite this as C to D to E, we would get 7 to 3 to 10. So we have 7 C marbles. We can just say this. Now, this isn't the actual numbers, but this is the ratios. Lenify, please let me know if you're following along so far. 7 C marbles, 3 D marbles, and then 4, 9, 10 E marbles. Okay? This doesn't matter as much, but we have 7, we have 3, and we have 10. So what is the ratio of C to E? Well, it's just 7 to 10, or 7 to 10, right? That doesn't mean that there are actually 7 and, oh shoot, actually 7 and actually 3. But the ratio is 7 to 10. So this is actually an easier example because you don't have to change the number for D, right? For D, you have a 3 and a 3 in both ratios, so it's easy to compare them. But let's say we have C to D, and that is, let's keep it as 7 to 3. But then D to E, we have, yeah? Put my grandparents on speaker or no?
Not right now.
All right. Hey, Grandma, it's Brady.
So C to D, we have 7 to 3. D to E, we have 5 to 6. What is C to E? So we're doing that again. Okay, so now this is all gone. Now, this is going to be harder because if we're trying to get the D's to set up so we can do what we did right here, where we just have C, D, and E, we need that D to be the same number, right? We had 2 3s here for D, so that's perfect. Here we don't have that situation. We have a 3 and a 5. So what we have to do is manipulate these ratios, but keep them the same. The ratio remains the same, but the numbers are going to be scaled up or down. And then we get these two numbers to be the same for D, so we can set up that, C to D to E ratio. In this case, we want to find the lowest common multiple, which is 15. So we can change. I will do this in yellow, I guess now. So C to D will become, C to D will now be, let's multiply by 5. So we get 35 to 15. Yeah? C to D is 35 to 15. And then D to E, so we multiplied by 5 here. And then D to E will multiply by 3 so that we get 15 to 18. Now we have the ratio we want because now the D's are the same at 15. So C to D to E is 35 to 15 to 18. Lenify, does that make sense? Therefore, from this, we will get that C to E is 35 to 18.
So you're basically that middle ratio letter that you're trying to eliminate. You make it the same for both, so that you can actually compare the ratio numbers of the other letters. There is another way to look at this, and I'll do it really quick. Lenify, are you still here? Are you still interested, or have you moved on with your life? Say nothing if you've moved on with your life. But also, if you have more questions, definitely ask. But I want to talk about one more thing if you're still here. If not, I want to move on to Jay's question. Jay is on Twitch. Jay, meet Lenify. Lenify, meet Jay. It seems like Lenify is gone, or we're no longer streaming. Lenify, nice explanation. Good. Please ask as many questions as you want. It can be on anything for the SAT or ACT, so it doesn't have to be math. It can be reading, writing, science, whatever you want to do. Hey, Jay. Or it could be math that's for a class, but if it's on the SAT or ACT, we can still talk about it. The other thing you can do is you have C. Another way to write this is C over D. I'm going to go back to this original one. Although it doesn't really matter. C over D equals 7 over 3, right? That's another way to write ratios is as fractions. C over D equals 7 over 3. D over E equals 3 over 10. This is Brady.
Look at this guy. Forget about me. Do you see who I'm got my arms around right now?
Do you see me?
This guy is one high quality individual.
And now we want C to E, right? So we can actually just use what we know about fractions to figure out C to E. Because C to E, I'm saying that too many times and it's losing its meaning for me. C to E, or C over E. How do we get that fraction? We can do C over D times D over E. Because if we multiply them together, the D's cancel, and we get C times 1, whatever. If the D's cancel, you get C over E. So you could do it this way, which means that you just multiply these two fractions together. So you get 7 over 3 times 3 over 10, which equals 7 over 10. You don't even need to line up the 3's. You can do the same thing with any numbers you want. FastX, hello.
FastX, I feel the same way about Levi. This guy's got me set for life. He's just giving me money hand over fist every day. I'm not going to need to work a day in my life after tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is when I'm finally getting the amount in total that I've wanted this whole time. I calculated if I have this amount, I'm set for life. It's approximately $7,556.
Mind blown, Lenify.
Once you have that. Mind blown. That sounds like, is that a book from World War II? Mind blown.
Jeez.
Sorry.
NHS next month. Will I be invited? Ooh, that's a good... If I were the NHS, I would invite you.
Actually, there's something you can do. There is an NHS elf. If you wake up at like 3:37 in the morning, the elf should be somewhere in your house. As long as you can track down the elf and capture it, and you can ask him, and also might be a female elf, but you can ask him or her, will I be an NHS? And the elf is obligated to tell you according to elf law.
Yes. Also, you could move to Great Britain and gain citizenship and then pay for the NHS to cover your health care because it stands for National Healthcare Service?
Well, what about the C?
National Health Service? And what? What's C?
You just said National Healthcare Service.
Well, no. Health
it's one word?
Yeah.
I see. Are you going to TwitchCon?
No.
Do we have to... It'd be awesome to go to something like that.
I would love to go to TwitchCon.
We need more viewers, though.
We need so many more viewers.
Yeah.
We are literally only the top... We're only the top 20 largest streams on Twitch.
Top 20. Yeah. Talk to us when we're in the top 2. Us and Ninja. Ninja.
No, Ninja's off of Twitch now, dude.
What happened?
He got fired.
What?
No. He got paid by Mixer, which is Microsoft's Twitch
channel
equivalent, and they paid him to now stream exclusively on Microsoft's Mixer.
Is Mixer like the new Twitch but for Microsoft?
Yeah, it's fine.
Wow. So they're really trying to get people to move to Mixer.
Yeah, so they're paying Ninja.
You know how much money he's probably making?
So much money.
It's probably more than he was making doing Twitch.
You know, it's probably more than we make in a single session.
That's amazing. Like the Fruit Loops to Fruit Rings.
It's actually disgusting. It's not disgusting. I mean, the content is still the same.
right?
No, it's not, dude. Mixer is very hastily put together. They use only cheap ingredients. Yeah, it's not much. They usually sell it at dollar stores. Dollar stores. As in, hey, leave. Meet me at the local dollar store. I'll bring a hot dog. I think that's how you're supposed to use that word.
Yeah.
Yeah. When ready, my expo marker is ready. Turns into a Fortnite stream.
-4, 6. Filled in circles.
Dude, I'd love to do this one. If I get 100, I get private tutoring for 1 minute bliss.
You've gotten private tutoring for more than a minute.
Yeah, so you basically have already reaped your reward.
Yeah, so you actually owe us more 100s. So Lenify turned into, oh, great. Yes, very good. I agree. Yeah, that's what we should do. We're both very bad at Fortnite, seeing as we've actually we could be very good at Fortnite, but we've never played. So there's no way to know.
There's no way to know.
Literally no way.
We're trying to write an absolute value inequality for this. Think about the fact that first off, it's between two values. This is a THAND. This is not a Thor, greater Thor, hammer. This is THAND. So it's less than. So we're going to have some kind of absolute value thing, and it's going to be less than or equal to, because we also have the closed dots. Less than or equal to. Okay, the next thing. What is the range of this inequality? It goes from -4 to 6. So that distance right there is 10. That is 10, okay? So what is half that distance? Basically, we have to think about if it's distance from 0, and we need to go in both directions, and that direction that will cover in total from 0 is 10. We're going to go 5 units this way, 5 units that way. That gives us a total of 10. So being less than 5 is what we need to be. And just to show you why again, if I have absolute value of x is less than or equal to 5, that means that x is going to look something like this. This marker is dying. It has to be within 5 units of 0 on either side. Because the absolute value of x means the distance of x from 0 must be less than or equal to 5. Okay? So this right here is a span of 10, which is what we have here. It's just shifted, which is what we're going to have to do. Okay? So this needs to be less than or equal to 5. And then we have to take into account that it's not centered at 0. It is centered at 1. All right? -4 to 6, that's a distance of 10. Midpoint of -4 and 6 is going to be 1. So we have to shift this 1 unit over. We have to bring it from here to here. Can you just neglect the negative? Find out the distance. As in this distance here? Like add 4 plus 6. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, that's what you're doing. If you find the distance between two numbers, it's basically subtraction. So we're doing 6 minus -4, which turns into 6 plus 4 anyway, which is what you were saying. Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, and then if we want to shift everything to make it 1 unit bigger, we just have to add 1. So you take x and you add 1 to it. That value needs to be less than or equal to 5. Let me just make sure I have that right. So that'll be less than, is it a 4? Did I screw that up? No, that's wrong. Hold on. Yeah, no, it's like what it normally is. If you want to shift this thing to the right, you have to subtract, like in normal functions. So let me just make sure that this is right. So we have x minus 1 is less than or equal to 5, and x minus 1 is greater than or equal to -5. So we would add 1, x is less than or equal to 6, and x is greater than or equal to -4. That's right, yeah. So we started out with our normal -5 to +5, but we want to shift it 1 forward, or 1 in the positive direction, so we have to subtract 1 inside the absolute value. Ooh, this is fun. I kind of like this.
Show interval notation too.
Interval notation. Got it. Okay. So we're doing interval notation. With this one, we can have -4 and 6. We don't. It's not just less than or greater than. It's the equal thing. So we can have those values. So the lowest that x ever gets is -4. We use brackets if you can actually have that value. If it includes -4, okay. If it was just greater than -4, we'd use parentheses because we can't actually have -4. And then we have a comma, and then we get to our upper value, which is 6, and we have another bracket to close it, which means we can have -4, we can have 6, and we can have anything in between them. This is hard. If we do another one, it probably will make a little more sense. Levi, do we have anything else to do, or should I just do another one?
No.
Okay. So like if we wanted to use interval notation for something that's a little trickier, let's say this is 3, and it goes that way, and then this is 5, and it goes that way, okay? This goes on till -infinity. So we have two different places where x could be. It could be from -infinity to 3, it can't be here, and it could also be from 5 to +infinity. So the way that we show that is the lowest bound we can have is -infinity. We don't use brackets because you can't be equal to -infinity. It just doesn't make any sense. So -infinity, and this gets us all the way, and I'm going to use open dots here, all the way to 3. At that point, you can't actually have 3, so we just use a parenthesis to close it, okay? If x could be somewhere else as well, we do a union, which is this u, which means it also can be in this other place. We join it with 5, +infinity. And then we close that with a parenthesis. Jay the Whiz Kid, is it that stuff you want to keep talking about, or is it interval notation you want to keep talking about? You get that. Okay, cool. I'm guessing you want to go over another one of these ones. We want to do a practice one on the left. Yeah, definitely. We're going to do another one. We're going to do another one. And I hurt my back because I'm old. Yes. We're going to get rid of all of this. Everything must go. We're liquidating the whole thing. Happy President's Day weekend. Jay the Whiz Kid, this is hard stuff. I mean, I actually don't even really... I don't remember doing exactly these kinds of problems. You're going to take organic, my future major. Organic chemistry is very difficult from what I've heard. Jay the Whiz Kid, you can get better at math. Don't worry. I've just been working with absolute value now, majoring in art for sure. Wait, you knew that organic chemistry was supposed to be hard. That's like one of those weed out classes where, you know, kids that are pre-med, once they take that class, they're like, oh my God, I can't do this. And so it kind of filters out the people that aren't gonna, yeah, but I like challenges. Yeah, no, you should take it. I'm just saying, it's funny you say that math is hard, so you're gonna take another incredibly difficult thing. But it's not math. It's not math. Chemistry is not math. There's a little bit of math involved every now and then, but it's much more concept-based. But there is math, stoichiometry, balancing chemical equations, stuff like that. But I also hate them. That's the point of a challenge, man. You love it when you get it right eventually, but you got to work at it. You got to throw your blood, sweat, and tears at the challenge. You got to challenge the challenge with your bodily fluids. Number 25. That's a similar one. So we have -6, and we have -12. And we have closed dots. Okay, so we start with absolute value bars. Is this going to be less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to? Jay the Whiz Kid, if you continue applying yourself and you ask us questions and then when things make sense, you're going to be fine. Once you get things, that's all it takes. So, yeah, the question. Is this going to be less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to? Sometimes I don't think I'm smart enough, but other times I think... Yes, it's an and. That's right. So
So it's going to be less than. It overlaps, right? Is it going to be less than or equal to?
Which one is it going to be?
Less than.
Okay, we have closed dots. You're the equal to part. Yeah, okay, so here's really quick. X is greater than 4 means it's an open dot. Because X can't be 4. It has to be greater than 4. So we put the open dot at 4, and then we go forward from there. If it's greater than or equal to 4, we show the viewer that it could be 4 by filling it with a closed dot. Okay?
So the equal here, closed. Exactly, good. Yeah, you get that. Exactly. Closed dot, so it's going to be good. So this is less than or equal. Okay? Now, what is the distance in units here? And then we want to have that distance so that we can figure out what our so-called distance away from 0 is. We have to sort of work backwards a little bit. Yep. So 6 units here, okay? So if we were in the middle, how far do we go in either direction? I'm sure you'll have this in just a sec. If you're in the middle of this span, how far do you have to go to get to 6, and how far do you have to go to negative 12? You just don't understand the question. You're going to get this. It's not that hard of a thing once you understand what I'm asking. If you're right in the middle of these two numbers at the center, 3. Yeah, exactly. So the distance needs to be less than or equal to 3. Okay? Now let's just imagine that this was it. X is less than or equal to 3. What that means is that X is either less than or equal to 3, or X is greater than or equal to negative 3. So we have 3, we have negative 3, and then we have this right here. Okay? We're building up to this. We now have to shift this thing back. How many units backwards do we have to shift this to get it to negative 12 and negative 6? How many units backwards? Nine units back, exactly, yeah. If we're going backwards, we do the opposite of what we think that would be. It's like, oh, we're going backwards, minus 9. Opposite, plus 9. That's your inequality right there. X plus 9 is greater than or equal, sorry, is less than or equal to 3. It's just a step-by-step process. Oh, wait, why is it plus? Because. Let's see what ends up happening here. When you solve this thing, you're going to end up subtracting 9 from both sides. X plus 9 is greater than or equal to negative 3. You're going to subtract 9, which brings you down to negative 6. And this brings you down to negative 12. So the adding 9 is in preparation to subtract 9 when you solve for x. You have to counteract it, basically. Typically in functions, if you're going to make horizontal shifts, you do the opposite of what you think you're supposed to do. Vertical shifts are very easy. If you add plus 3 at the end, it goes up. I was about to say I got it until there, but it makes sense. Good. Levi, what time is it?
It is 8:35.
Okay. I mean, if it's only one student, we should probably...
Sam A has joined the Discord.
That's good.
Tell Sam to ask us a question.
Sam, ask us a question. See what this is like.
One thing we have not done, Jay the Whiz Kid, is do an OR problem. An OR problem. It's going to be very similar here. It's just those first couple steps, we're just going to be doing the opposite. So, what do we have here? We have -8 and 12. This is an OR problem. I got a picture of a problem after you guys are done. We've been helping out one kid for a while. So Lenify, send us that picture. Are you on our Discord? Is that Sam? Probably, Levi?
Maybe. I have no idea.
I noticed. Oh, here in the moment. We're glad you're here. In the moment. Because that's who you are. Let's check our Discord. Lenify, how do you want to get us that pick? Can you sign up on our Discord? You're on YouTube right now. You can't really get to Discord from YouTube, can you?
I feel like we should have that set up.
We probably should. Yeah, Lenify, just resubbed. Did you? Did you? We gotta get that. Gotta get that little live stream elements notification. I believe you. And I want to say thank you. Lenify, if you posted, not yet.
Do you want me to? I can send the Discord link.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Lenify, we're gonna send you. Oh, Levi, can you man the board for a sec?
Yes. Give me one moment.
All right. Now, Kuzi, you're in for it. You're asking for it, and you're gonna get it.
Oh, Kuz. Hey, Lenify, did you just see...
Whoa, I stood up too fast. Lenify, do you feel the blood rushing to my skull right now? Because I certainly do. Lenify, you're on YouTube. Did you see the comment I just made with the Discord link? If not, sorry, I am very bad with this garbage. Hello, you're in the moment. Hello. Sorry, yeah, I haven't seen you today.
Well done, Nakuzi! Subscribe for 2 months in a row! Well done!
I love it, Bird.
It's exhausting.
I'm sure it is.
I have to get the air right, too. I have to exhale partially to start. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's kind of how we feel about it.
What is George Washington doing in 2019? He's decaying.
He's rolling over in his grave.
I wish I could sub, but I don't have the money. Here in the moment, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you have 1 free sub.
Yes.
I don't know if that kind of applies to you. See you now, Kuzi.
Bye, not Kuzi. Thank you for the sub.
Yeah. Just shows up, subs, leaves. It's pretty sick. That's a cool person right there.
It's a cool subscriber right there.
Don't do this. Yeah, do that stuff. So Jay the Whiz Kid, this is going to be a great OR. We have closed dots, so it's great OR. Distance between them, we have 8 and 12, which is a total of 20. Do
you want this?
You can get rid of that.
You want this?
No, I want you to keep that.
Got the Discord. Great. Cool. How delayed are we on YouTube?
Basically, it's the same thing as what we did before. The distance is 20, half that distance is 10, so it has to be greater than or equal to 10. And then if we're centered at the normal 0, -10, +10, how do we shift it to turn it into that? We have to shift it 2 units to the right, so it's -2. Absolute value of x, -2.
Welcome to the Discord, Lenify, and thank you for the first problem you've ever posted in our Discord.
Ooh. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I like this a lot.
I love these questions.
Put it up on the board.
I want to put it up on the board.
Put it up on the board.
Well, why don't you erase that? We can't put it on the board unless you erase
That's
that.
not true. You could totally put it on the board.
Oh.
This time I should get a higher grade. Yes, you will get a higher grade.
Yes, and then you'll... never mind.
Good. That was probably going to be dumb.
It was gonna be unacceptable. I need to stop my low confidence.
Stop it right in its tracks.
Well, also, you could lose so much confidence, you kind of come back out on the top. It's like the world map on a two-dimensional piece of whatever it's on, where the top,
human
if you
skin?
actually think about the top of a map, it actually goes down to the bottom. The people say that Antarctica and Arctic are not the same. They are exactly the same. The map reaches like that. Don't listen to whatever Brady says, ever.
Well, I was just going to say that, a sphere is the only way to accurately represent the Earth's surface without two-dimensional distortions. But, I say things like that, and people just roll their eyes and say, what planet are you from? And I say, well, it's a spherical planet, but that's all I really know about it.
Wow, that's really enlightening, Bird. Thank you.
Good. All right, Lanify.
Lanify
does whatever Lanify does. Hey!
Can he swing?
Ho!
Far from a rev?
Yep.
No, maybe he could, but maybe probably not.
Look out!
What is a Lanify?
Here comes Bruce Wayne. All right, very good. So, angle problems, we love them.
We love them and we hate them.
Lanify, you might not know how to get to your final answer, but if you can fill in angles that you know on the way, that's how you want to start. So we got a lot of triangles here, and a lot of them are partially complete, but they're not totally complete. We can find angle measures of some of these triangles for the reason that triangle angles always add up to 180 degrees. So for these triangles, we actually all have 2 angles apiece, which means it's just subtraction to figure out what angle we're missing so that all 3 of them add up to 180. And maybe you figured that out, but you just weren't sure what to do with the very last step. But let's see. 35 and 60 add up to 95, so we still need 85 right here.
Oh, and then 55 and 65 add up to 120, and they need to add up to 180 in total for this triangle, so this needs to be 60.
These two, 30 and 45, add up to 75, so we still need 105 right here.
And now the only thing we really want is this x, so around a whole circle, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Around that whole circle, we need to get 360 degrees. So we do 360 degrees minus the sum of the other guys
60
we have here.
Plus 30 plus 85.
Is 175, I want to say.
That's 175, right?
Okay, so then it would be 185. So that equals 185. So x is 185 degrees. Why does Levi sound different?
Levi just had an operation off screen.
Yeah, it was a very dangerous operation, but they pulled out both my kidneys.
His children's knees.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hated that.
I know.
He reached nirvana. Yeah.
Lanify. Yeah, some things you got to know is when 2 angles add up to make a right angle, that means the 2 angles have to add up to 90. When 2 angles add up to make a straight line, they have to add up to 180. And if multiple angles, like what happened here, add up to a full circle, a full rotation, they have to add up to 360. That is what this last part had you figure out.
Lanify, do you have any follow-up questions?
Did that make sense, Lanify? Would you like this to go any deeper? Elaborate any more? We can elaborate for days.
We could elaborate for years.
For centuries, even.
We could elucidate for even longer.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on the elucidation.
I remember you once elucidated for, I think, 2 millennia?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You missed the whole crustacean period. Cretaceous? What is it?
Well,
crustacean is...
Either way, that's not true. You're thinking of Cretaceous.
I am.
And that was really far. It was millions of years ago.
Yeah.
And you just talked about the last 2,000 years.
Well, the SAT was actually around at that time.
Well, yeah, they found it trapped in amber from that time.
Right, the SAT.
And they were able to, along with frog genes, basically resurrect it.
Right, and then...
It was really remarkable.
Did Michael Crichton write a book about it?
Michael Crichton. It's Crichton.
You guys should make a commercial.
Hey, you should make a commercial.
Yeah, you should commercial make, guy. What the heck? Hey,
Lenify, we're gonna make some ads.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. While we're making the commercial, what are you gonna be doing, huh? Selling lemonade down at the Five and Dime? I'm not even sure what a Five and Dime is. Is that an old
Waiting for your own show on
TLC?
TLC. Very funny.
No, that's TBS.
Oh, it's PBS.
No, it's not PBS.
Oh,
PBS is not. TBS is very funny.
TBS Kids
.com
today,
for you.
and
The
type
kids.
on the original wood glue.
We're sponsored by them. Don't
TLC. It's like Jeb.
Tender Loving Care. We have a show on tender loving care. It's where Levi and I tenderly love and care for each other.
Very tenderly.
Your minds intertwine with each other. You have no idea how much time we spend together.
We spend such an enormous amount of time together.
It's absurd.
Yes.
Just today, Levi is now working at the same teaching thing that I am.
Yes.
So that was not happening
But to be
before.
fair, I saw an advertisement for it first. It was on a bus stop.
He told me about it, and I said, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I'm like, hey, you should do it. And he's like, nah. All right, fine. You guys met at college? We
Yes.
did, yes. We didn't know each other that well. It was
No.
more after college
Yeah.
when the sparks started flying.
Yeah. They began to fly.
Yes, and they...
I was actually busy grinding down Brady's shoulder blades because his shoulder blades actually stuck out a good 2 feet because he's related to the Archangel Gabriel.
Caw!
Notice?
Who's
Caw.
a bird.
Yeah. And then we were grinding it down, the sparks began to fly, we overheated, and okay, well that means time to go to Stanford and find my best friend then. Aww. That's true, yes. It's similar to the limit.
Well, in certain cases, it does.
Oh, okay.
You're going to find your best friend wherever you go.
Yeah.
You don't need to go any
Or
particular
if
place.
you kidnap them and hold them in a dark, windowless room,
Box.
then
You'll
you're their
force a
only
friendship.
friend. So you're their best friend and favorite captor.
Yes.
Yes.
It's called Stockholm Syndrome. You start identifying with your captor. Was the academic level at Stanford chill?
Yes.
Well, they called it the Stanford Duck Syndrome, which is where you see a duck on the surface of the water and it looks very calm, it's in the same place, but it's paddling furiously under the water to stay in the same spot. There's a lot of people that seem very calm and chill on the surface, but boy, are they stressed out. And they don't want you to know because it seems like everyone else is also doing just fine.
Yeah, so what Brady's saying is that if you put the you're a duck on the ethnicity part of your application, you'll get in.
There's several things wrong with that.
Oh, what's wrong with it? All right,
There's
so...
not a duck box, you bozo.
Well, there's a duck box.
Yeah.
Remember it said check the duck box if you want to go?
And then
I was like, yeah, sign me up.
and then if you check it, they throw a wrench at you. You better duck.
Oh, you better... Oh, God.
You guys went to Stanford?
Yeah, did you?
We did. Why do you think we're doing this? That doesn't actually connect at all.
So Johns Hopkins is not a plural school. So it's not Johns Hopkins happen. It's Johns Hopkins happens. Legends. Yeah, we are living legends, as they might say. My dad, he says, you're a legend all the time.
Johns Hopkins happened. Johns. Well, I believe that each department is called one Johns Hopkins.
Yes.
So then you've got a couple of Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a regular couple of Johns Hopkins. That's what they always say. All the schools say that to each other.
Yeah, it's competitive. I mean, yeah, it's very competitive to get in. Once you're there, it's you don't feel the competition as much.
Jay, you got to keep your voice down. Of the people who are watching right now, how many of you are seniors?
Does anyone know the tally of everyone
Actually,
watching?
don't answer that. That doesn't make sense. If you're a senior, blink twice.
Here in the moment. What were your majors? My major was in the engineering department. It was called product design. Levi.
Yeah. And Brady is my legal property because I hold him in this dark room. So that was also my major by proxy.
Was what?
Proxy is not the right word there. My major was theater with minors in computer science and French. Is it smart for a junior to go to a college fair?
It's very smart.
Yes, it's quite smart.
Very smart. It's very, very, very smart.
Yep. They'll see you there and they'll be like, "Whoa, you got to come to our school now."
Yeah, you'll actually get in. Also, wear your duck costume.
College is they're trying to up their duck quota
Yes.
of students.
Make sure to oil your feathers beforehand, though.
There were a lot of ducks on Stanford campus. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. I had a duck in my French class. It couldn't do the R's because they don't have tongues.
Did they get a failing grade? They got a D.
They got a D for doofus.
You can check yes and getting letters and emails. College with the SATs. I dreaded so much spam mail. Yeah, they don't really.
Oh, yeah. I actually, when I was in high school, I made up a persona named Gustav Orkin Fallopian. And Gustav Orkin Fallopian actually still receives spam mail at my parents' home. And which is lovely. They think he's Armenian. So I still get a monthly Armenian newspaper.
Do you really?
I do.
That's great.
Addressed to Gustav Orkin Fallopian.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I had a persona that a friend of mine from high school and I created named Wrinkly McFlapsquirt. And when I played tennis and we passed around the clipboard at the pictures day when they're taking a picture of the team, I wrote Wrinkly McFlapsquirt. And my coach was very upset with me. It makes a good story, but McFlapsquirt. Yeah, it's pretty gross. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just sounds that you don't want to put together.
But it's been in like the McFlapsquirt family is a very well respected enclave in Eastern Russia.
Yeah, and Wrinkly was named after his great grandfather Wrinkly.
Was that the grandfather's name, or that was just you looked at him and you're like, oh, you're wrinkly, and then you named the kid after him?
Yeah, well, it's a recessive trait that popped up again.
Right.
It's every other generation you get a couple of wrinklies.
This
So
will
one of
be
them-
on the SAT and the ACT. Also.
Wrinkly, McFlapsquirt. I think Wrinkly is actually doing some DJing now in Belarus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's doing pretty well. He's got a SoundCloud. Yeah.
Oh, he's moving into rap now, I heard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's doing a little, I think he's doing a little
He's
rap.
writing some of his own stuff.
Yeah, but he still
It's
has-
actually darker than you'd expect. Some racist stuff is strange.
Yeah, I'm just more excited in general. He's going into something he's passionate about.
Yeah, it's all about passion.
Yeah. And he takes after his grandfather, because his grandfather was also passionate, but it was about the accordion. SAT divided by ACT is only a fraction
Literally always, yes.
of what gets you into college. I'm going to make my college apps crazy. Yes, you should. Make them just full of non sequiturs and wingdings and little symbols. Just
Yeah.
make them insane. Actually, Levi's pretty good at helping out with college essays. You want to say
Yeah.
something about that, Levi?
Write your essay all about the Pokemon Unknown. It's those Pokemon that are letters with eyeballs. Do you know that? You
No,
know that
I see.
Pokemon? It's called Unknown.
No, do you? Glass.
Yo, sick burn here in the attempt. The moment. Okay, Levi, what's the thought on writing my essay with overcoming my speech impediment?
That's a good thing.
Oh, the thought is, sure. We are going to. Are you applying anywhere early?
You applying anywhere late?
Yeah, ideally don't apply late because they won't read your application. Are you applying early or are you applying regular decision? Oh, to Johns Hopkins. Okay, I am. Oh, you are. Okay. Dream school. Yes. Early to Princeton. Oh my gosh. Very exciting. Have you been to Princeton here in the attempt? Moment. Why do I say here in the attempt? You're where in NJ? You actually maybe don't tell me. Southern, Central, Northern? Oh, Jay, you're Southern, right? That's what you said? Very exciting. It's a very nice place. Midler. Okay.
we only have a couple minutes left. So I guess we can do one more question if you have an actual, test question. If not, that's totally fine. Princeton's a nice campus. I've never been to Johns Hopkins campus. Never been. It's so crowded.
Is it Baltimore?
I think it's Baltimore, yeah. Let us... Your school is so congested. Like your high school, you're saying? Conic Sections. Yes. What Conic Sections would you like to discuss? We can't cover all of them at the moment, but we can do that over the next day. You want to start with ellipses? I mean, we can start with circles. Circles are the easiest, I would say. Bird, what's the easiest conic section?
Circles are the easiest, definitely.
You would agree with that, then?
Yeah.
No problem, Jay. Next time you see me, I'll be in Johns Hopkins in 2 years. Yeah, baby. Could you revert hyperbolas? Yes, we can do that. Are you going to be here tomorrow, here in the moment? Because we don't have time for hyperbolas tonight. Because it's 9 p.m. You know what they say about 9 p.m.? Brady, what do they say? It's
9 p.m. is spooky. Woo!
Sorry about that. It's not.
The
Always very good.
ghosts come out at 9 p.m. Levi and I are both allergic, so we have our EpiPens.
Yep.
And we are terrified.
Yep.
But we have our EpiPens, and we write with them. I have an EpiPencil.
Do you? It's erasable?
Yep.
All right.
Oh God, we're gonna go.
We're gonna go spend more time together right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yes.
Have a lovely night. Here in the moment. Say hi tomorrow, and then we'll start with hyperbolas. I'll write it on the board and not erase it.
Good night, everyone. We